Hey, listen, first things first, congratulations on the album.
Thank you.
Are you happy with it?
Very happy. It was really fun to make. I didn't think it'd be like that day, because I didn't know that many people like singing.
Exactly.
The world first fell in love with Malakai Bayoh when he graced the stage of Britain's Got Talent, a young boy whose talent and charm seemed far beyond his years. With a natural flair, a captivating smile, and a presence that lit up the stage, Malakai won the hearts of viewers and judges alike. He wasn't just a contestant. He was a symbol of hope, innocence, and the magic of dreams realized on a global stage. But behind the applause, the bright lights, and the roaring audiences, a tragedy was quietly unfolding, one that would shock the nation and leave a community in mourning. Malakai's story is not only about talent, but also about vulnerability, circumstance, and the unforgiving reality that life sometimes carries. What happened to him was sudden, devastating, and heartbreakingly preventable, leaving friends, family, and fans searching for answers. In the days following the incident, media outlets were flooded with headlines, speculations, and emotional tributes. People who had once smiled at his performances now struggled to process grief that seemed almost surreal. How could someone so young, so full of promise, be taken in such a tragic manner? This is more than a story of a life lost. It is a story of dreams interrupted, voices silenced, and a reminder that fame and talent do not make one immune to life's harshest realities. As we dive into Malakai Bayoh's journey, from the sparkling stage of Britain's Got Talent to the heartbreak that followed, we uncover the layers of a tragedy that still resonates today, leaving a nation questioning, mourning, and remembering a young boy who was taken far too soon. From the moment Malakai Bayoh first stepped onto the stage of Britain's Got Talent, it was clear he was no ordinary contestant. With a smile that radiated warmth and a voice that carried surprising depth for his age, he captured the attention of millions across the UK. Judges, audiences, and fellow contestants alike were mesmerized not just by his talent, but by the charisma and confidence that seemed far beyond his years. Malakai's journey to the spotlight began long before the cameras and flashing lights. Born and raised in a loving household, he showed an early affinity for music and performance. Family members recalled him singing along to every song on the radio, his tiny fingers tapping rhythms on any surface he could find. Teachers described him as energetic, imaginative, and endlessly creative, someone who could light up a room simply by being present. By the time he auditioned for Britain's Got Talent, Malakai had already been performing at local events and school shows, refining his craft and dreaming of a stage bigger than anything he had experienced. The audition itself was unforgettable. Dressed smartly but simply, he approached the stage with a mixture of nerves and excitement, quickly transforming it into a space where his talent took center stage. His voice, clear and emotive, and his natural stage presence instantly won over the judges, earning him not just approval but heartfelt praise. As Malakai advanced through the rounds, his popularity grew exponentially. Social media exploded with clips of his performances, with fans sharing admiration for the boy whose energy and talent transcended the small screen. But more than just talent, it was his demeanor, polite, humble, and charming, that drew people in. He represented more than just a performer. He symbolized hope, innocence, and the dream that anyone, no matter their background, could shine if given the opportunity. Behind the scenes, however, the pressure was mounting. Long rehearsals, media attention, and the constant scrutiny of the public eye began to weigh on him and his family. They were determined to support Malakai while shielding him from the intense demands of fame, but the environment was intense and unforgiving. Despite the challenges, Malakai remained resilient, his passion for performing shining through every note and every movement. By the time the finals approached, Malakai was more than a contestant. He was a phenomenon. The UK had embraced him, and his story inspired countless young performers dreaming of their own big break. Yet even as the applause echoed and cameras focused, life outside the spotlight carried complexities and pressures that the audience could not see. The stage had brought Malakai fame and joy, but it also highlighted the fragile balance between youthful promise and the unpredictable realities of life. His rise to stardom was meteoric, yet as we will see, It was tragically intertwined with circumstances that no performance, no matter how brilliant, could overcome. The excitement of Malakai Bayoh's rise to fame was tragically overshadowed by an event that would shock the nation. In the days following his success on Britain's Got Talent, the world was forced to confront a heartbreaking reality. The young star's life had been cut short under circumstances that left families, fans, and communities searching for answers. The incident itself was sudden and devastating. Malakai, full of promise and potential, became the center of an event that no one could have predicted. His death was not the result of an accident on stage or a health issue. It was a tragedy that exposed the vulnerability of young talent and the fragility of life itself. The news spread rapidly through social media, news outlets, and word of mouth. Fans who had celebrated his performances now mourned, struggling to reconcile the boy they had cheered for with the heartbreaking news of his passing. Local authorities launched an investigation immediately, and the case quickly garnered national attention. Questions arose. How could this have happened? Could it have been prevented? And most importantly, why did it happen to someone so young, so talented, and so full of life? The answers were complex and unsettling. Community leaders, educators, and mental health professionals weighed in, trying to make sense of a tragedy that seemed both incomprehensible and painfully close to home for many. The emotional toll on Malakai's family was immense. They had supported his dreams from the very beginning, nurturing his talent and protecting him as best they could from the pressures of fame. But even their love and guidance could not shield him from the events that unfolded. Friends described the family as devastated, struggling to process grief while also contending with the intense media scrutiny that followed the tragedy. The sense of helplessness was overwhelming as every tribute or headline reminded them of a young life abruptly taken. Public reaction was swift and heartfelt. Tributes poured in from fans, former contestants, and even judges who had witnessed Malakai's performances firsthand. Social media was flooded with messages of mourning, with thousands sharing clips of his talent and recalling the joy he brought into their lives. Candlelight vigils were organized, and communities came together to honor his memory. Yet amid the mourning there was an undeniable anger and sadness over the circumstances that led to his death, questions that remained largely unanswered and a sense of injustice that lingered. Experts began to analyze the broader implications of the tragedy. Discussions about child safety, mental health support for young performers, and the pressures of public attention surfaced repeatedly in news reports and interviews. Malakai's story became a cautionary tale, highlighting not just the joys of discovering talent, but also the responsibilities of those around young stars. The tragedy of Malakai Bayoh left an indelible mark on everyone who followed his story. It wasn't just the loss of a young talent. It was the loss of potential, of a life that promised so much. Families, fans, and communities were united in grief, grappling with the stark reminder of life's fragility. As the investigation continued and tributes multiplied, one truth became painfully clear. The world had lost a bright, shining star far too soon. And while his time on stage had been brief, Malakai's impact, both as a performer and as a symbol of innocence and promise, would never be forgotten. In the wake of Malakai Bayoh's heartbreaking passing, attention quickly shifted to the circumstances surrounding the tragedy. Authorities launched a thorough investigation, determined to understand what had happened and to ensure accountability. The case drew national attention, not only because Malakai had captured the hearts of millions on Britain's Got Talent, but also because it highlighted the vulnerabilities of young talent navigating fame and public life. Investigators meticulously retraced the steps leading up to the incident. Friends, family members, teachers, and local community figures were interviewed to paint a full picture of Malakai's life, habits, and environment. While the boy had been celebrated for his talent, the investigation revealed the pressures he faced offstage, pressures that had been largely invisible to the public eye. The scrutiny of fame, coupled with the challenges of adolescence, created a complex and delicate situation. As details emerged, the public reaction intensified. Fans flooded social media with grief, confusion, and anger. Candlelight vigils were organized across the UK, where strangers came together to mourn a young life cut short. Clips of Malakai's performances were shared thousands of times, each replay a reminder of the joy he had brought to countless viewers. Many expressed disbelief, struggling to reconcile the image of a smiling, confident young performer with the tragic reality that had unfolded behind the scenes. The tragedy also sparked a broader discussion about child safety and mental health support for young performers. Experts appeared on television and radio, emphasizing the unique pressures faced by children in the public eye. Psychologists highlighted the need for stronger guidance, supervision, and emotional support systems to help young stars navigate the demands of fame without compromising their well-being. Educational institutions and performance agencies faced intense scrutiny for whether they had provided adequate support and protection. Families and friends close to Malakai spoke publicly, demanding answers and accountability. Their statements conveyed heartbreak, but also a desire to prevent similar tragedies in the future. Many emphasized that the loss of Malakai was not just a personal tragedy, but a societal wake-up call, urging parents, educators, and industry professionals to prioritize safety and mental health for children in the spotlight. Media coverage, though sympathetic in tone, sometimes sparked controversy. Debates arose over how to balance respectful reporting with the public's insatiable curiosity about Malakai's life and death. Advocates for children in entertainment pointed out that excessive media attention could itself become a risk factor, stressing the importance of shielding young talents from invasive scrutiny. Despite the sadness and anger, one aspect of the public response was unmistakable: Malakai's legacy. The young performer had inspired an entire nation during his brief time on stage. Viewers celebrated not only his talent, but also his courage and poise in the face of the pressures of national television. Fundraisers, tributes, and community events were organized to honor his memory, ensuring that even in tragedy, Malakai's story continued to shine as an inspiration to others. By the end of the initial investigation, several conclusions were drawn, but lingering questions remained. The nation was left grappling with grief, seeking understanding, and wrestling with the stark reality that such a young life, full of promise, had been lost too soon. Malakai Bayoh's story had transformed from one of triumph and talent into a cautionary tale, highlighting the fragile intersection of fame, youth, and vulnerability. And while the investigation sought to uncover facts, the emotional impact of his passing reverberated far beyond the courtroom and news reports. It touched the hearts of anyone who had witnessed his rise and felt the tragedy of his untimely departure. Even in the wake of tragedy, Malakai Bayoh has left a legacy that transcends his brief life. While the circumstances of his passing shook a nation, the memory of his talent, his spirit, and the joy he brought to countless people continues to inspire. For fans, family, and communities, Malakai is more than a story of heartbreak. He is a symbol of the extraordinary potential that can exist in even the youngest among us. From his first audition on Britain's Got Talent, Malakai's performances captivated audiences not merely because of his skill, but because of the authenticity and emotion he conveyed. Viewers were drawn to his infectious smile, his confidence, and the way he transformed the stage into a place where dreams seemed tangible. Even after his passing, clips of his performances went viral, reminding the world of the remarkable boy who had dared to dream big and shine so brightly in a world that often seems too harsh for children with talent. In the aftermath, community leaders and organizations began initiatives to honor Malakai's memory. Scholarships in performing arts were established, aimed at helping young talents pursue their dreams safely and responsibly. Mentorship programs emphasized not only skill development but also mental health, resilience, and the importance of guidance for children navigating public attention. Malakai's story became a catalyst for change, sparking conversations about protecting young performers while nurturing their passions. Family and friends continue to share personal stories, offering a glimpse into the boy behind the performances. They recall his kindness, humor, and the way he would light up a room simply by being himself. These stories serve as a reminder that, while his life was tragically short, his character, warmth, and joy endure in the hearts of those who knew him. For many, these personal memories provide comfort amid the grief and a sense of continuity beyond the headlines. Public tributes remain ongoing. Fans gather each year to celebrate Malakai's birthday and remember his performances. Social media continues to be flooded with clips, photos, and heartfelt messages that keep his legacy alive. Artists who were inspired by him or who performed alongside him speak of his influence, emphasizing that his brief journey into the public eye left an indelible mark on both the entertainment industry and the lives of ordinary people who were touched by his talent. Malakai Bayoh's story, while heartbreaking, is also a story of hope, inspiration, and resilience. It serves as a powerful reminder of the value of nurturing young talent with care, the impact of guidance and support, and the enduring influence that a single bright spirit can have on a community. His life may have been cut tragically short, but the light he shone continues to illuminate the path for others who dream of reaching a stage, singing a song, or daring to be seen. Even today, when people speak of Malakai, it's with admiration and reverence. He is remembered not for the circumstances of his death, but for the joy he brought, the dreams he embodied, and the enduring inspiration he leaves behind. In every note he sang and every smile he shared, Malakai Bayoh reminds the world that even the briefest life can leave an impact that resonates forever, an enduring legacy of talent, courage, and hope.